Okay, so I took advantage of this time to look up something. So the artillery is hitting us, and we said it was going to be 4 hits. We have the option to disrupt everybody in a hex, assuming that they're not already disrupted. So I couldn't, pull a trick or a stunt with that one. But if I disrupt everybody in a particular hex, I can avoid taking hits. So, for example, this one here has two units in it that can take a hit out of the 4. Remember, the headquarters are immune, and so I could disrupt this instead of taking the 2 hits. And I might do that. This one here is already hurt pretty hard. So we're looking at 2 here, 1 there, and this guy or this guy. So we're taking hits no matter what. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to agree to be disrupted here and here. This is the one that I'm concerned about because I want to kill this purple. I could... to take another step loss means this thing's going to be down to catastrophic loss. But I think I have to. I mean, this has a range of 2, so he can help. And so can he. Yeah, I need to keep this one active. So I may end up getting hit again. That's what sucks about this one. So this is 4th Division, and he's flipped over to his 2-step side. But so basically there was 1 hit here, 2 hits there, which I chose to get disrupted, and 1 hit here, and I chose to disrupt him instead of taking the loss. So 2 disrupted units, 1 is still active, and so that one could help us barrage or whatever we need to do to take this thing out. This Black Fortress is pretty brutal, folks. Okay, so that ends the turn. Now we go to the Japanese raid phase. And so this is another new thing. I do have notes on this. And I know my rating is chicken scratch, but bear with me. Every U.S. space that we have units on gets checked. And then what we're checking for is there 2 other U.S. non-disrupted units within 2 hexes? If the answer is yes, then that space is safe. It's not getting raided. So I did it in other words. As long as 2 other units are in spaces near you, you are fine. If you fail the check, then we have to do this raid procedure. So obviously we don't need to worry about inside of our lines. It's more of the outside edge of our units. And it's basically punishing whoever, like let's say one guy ran all the way up here to purple, right? It's punishing them. So like, for example, here, there's 2 other units within 2 spaces of here, so he does not get raided. Here, there's 3 other units, right? And so you just keep looking, and as long as you have 2 other units, now this one has 1, 2. He's fine. This one is disrupted, and that one's disrupted. So this guy can't count either of, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. So this one, even though he's disrupted, he still has 2 undisrupted near him, so he's not going to get raided. This one cannot count either of these because they're disrupted, but he's still fine because he's got 2 behind him. You see how that works? And then this one here could be a problem child because that one's disrupted, but you got 1 here and then 1 here or there. Because remember, it's 2 spaces away, right? So I thought the raiding thing was going to be a big pain in the ass, but to be quite honest, it's not. As long as you keep your units and your battalions together, you're going to be fine. It's only when you rush 1 unit like deep into the enemy territory, which is what you would do in Palelu and the other games, right? We would rush a guy all the way up to take the airport, and he's nowhere near anybody else. So that's a situation where you get raided. So the game sort of has this little punitive check to see what happens to you if you go too deep into enemy lines. Now the raid, just in case, and by the way, over here we're fine too. Now the raid, if you're wondering, what does it do? You're going to draw a card. And if there's a Jap position within, so let's say this unit right here is getting raided. And ignore the fact that I have other US units around it. Just assume that this red position here actually had Japanese units in it, and so did this gold, etc. We draw a card, and if there's a Jap position within 3 hexes of this spot where the US unit is, that matches the color on the card, then a raid occurs. So I would draw a card, and if I drew a red, or a green, or a yellow, or even this brown, right? Any of those colors would trigger a raid on me in that spot. So then what we do is you count the number of positions that are matching the color within 3 hexes. So for example, if I drew a red, 1, 2, 3, and Japanese were in both of these positions, that would count as a 2. This brown would only count as a 1. Now this yellow, if the Japanese was here but not there, I would still only count it as a 1, even though there's 2 positions there. And then you get to add 1 if it's the night turn. And then you add 1 if any of those positions is within 3 spaces of a black. So they're not in this scenario, but if they were down here and they're near a black location, they get another +1. So then you count all the points they have, and if it's greater than the number of units you have stacked in that spot, then one of your units takes a hit. So it's like a lot of busy work, and I was really just groaning at the idea of having to do this every turn. But it's real quick. I'm able to look at the map right here, and so can you, and it's real easy to see that we're passing the raid check everywhere. So it's just a punitive thing that we have to be aware of, that if we try to go off and be a Leroy Jenkins, we're gonna have to deal with raid checks. Okay? So the artillery is what hurt. We were actually gunning for black here, and I think we were going to do well, and now we're not. Because here's the thing, this black unit's going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's fully staffed up. I really needed to spend artillery to barrage him, but you can't barrage and reveal in the same turn. So that's the reason it is what it is. So what I probably needed to do is reveal him and then keep everybody back one more turn. But we're going to take a punch in the mouth over there. Okay, that's enough. We move on to the next turn. We are on turn 8, which is the midday. These do not reset. Turn 8 is midday, is not when reinforcements arrive. So we just move on. And we are in the HQ phase. There are no reinforcements in this phase, or we don't get to do the reinforcements, but we can do stuff with our reserves if we like. And let me look. So we can move things into the reserve. So I'm going to move, for example, this guy who's down to 1 step. I'm going to make sure he's not in any fire for anything. Nope, he's not. And so this guy's a 5th division, and I'm going to move him there with his step. See if we can get him repaired. And then this one here, I'm also going to move. I think this green unit is, he's disrupted. So I don't know what happens in that situation. I think he just loses his disruption. And we're moving him in. Yeah, that one's safe to move in. That's a 4th division. So we got some guys in the reserve pool. So now it says that the units that are not in the reserve get replacements only in the morning. They must stay a full day. So I don't know how to designate that. I mean, see, we just put some in the morning, and now we just put some in the midday. You see how this gets a little crazy. 1 free tank for every 2 in the pool, and I don't know if it's 2 tanks or 2 tank pips. I should have wrote that down. And of course I didn't. Every 2 tank steps in the reserve pool, you get 1 free tank. So I need to Okay, so I wrote in the pips here. So 1 free tank for every 2 pips. We actually have 2 pips in the 4th Marines, but I don't think any of our tanks have taken damage. So we get a free tank, but oh, actually, it goes here. We get a replacement tank point there. And then for engineers, I don't have any engineers in there. So yeah, nothing we can do with that. I think the step got flipped. Okay. There's no limit to replacements in the reserve pool. We don't have any full battalions or regiments there. So we could heal these guys, but I'm not going to because they can't come back into action anyways, not until tomorrow. So we're just going to let them sit, and maybe we'll spend the points later. Okay, so sorry, looking up something again. Okay. I need to clarify this rule again. That free tank for every 2 pips in a pool is AM only. AM only. So I'm taking the point back off the chart. So we only check for that in the morning. So that tank being there gives a free pip in the morning. Okay, so let's get her done, right? So I think we're done with the HQ phase. There's not much to do really. All of our command posts are gonna move to range 2 still. They don't go to range 3 until next turn, but they all move up. Now we get to do garrisons. So they have a range 2. So if something is in the range and nobody can fire upon it, it gets a garrison, which means we no longer have to keep our units on the spot to prevent the Japanese from taking it. It's basically going to be secure for the rest of the game, unless somehow they take something like this and then they can fire upon it. But everything that is no longer in field of fire gets it. But of course it has to be in the command post range, which is only 2. I think this blue is, the blue is only under fire from green, so he gets 1. So lots of command posts popping up. I'm sorry, garrison, I mean. The brown is within range 2. And this one can get a garrison, but the other one cannot. This one can be fired upon by orange. Okay, so looking through, green here can get 1. So you can see a lot of them are popping up. And because we have a HQ there, but I don't think anything else is in range. And then we have this HQ here, so we can get 2 more. And you can see that gold is getting garrisons. So the beauty here is we can no longer need to station troops on those spots. So very nice. And then we even have more winter chicken dinners. Technically speaking, they said that the HQ unit itself is a garrison, but I like to put a garrison marker if I have one. If I ever run out, then maybe I'll do that, but I think these HQs are going to eventually move. And so we have garrisons on those 2 green and then on this blue. So very well done. We're making a small dent on this. So that's the HQ phase. I hope that makes sense. Now we can transfer units to and from the reserve pool. But remember, they have to be there for a day if we put them in. And so, so I think I'm gonna, I don't know, I don't want to get a marker and write on my board. But I think, you know, this was morning and this is mid. So I'm gonna put him in the middle. And then night will be at the top. I don't know if that's gonna work, or it's better than nothing. I think it's funny that the 3rd Marine gets this giant box and they're not even in the game. Which, by the way, we can bring in the 3rd Marine anytime we want. And we can bring in the 3rd Division and they can land and they can do all kinds of cool stuff for us. I think we can even try landing on these northern beaches. So that's the thing that I don't understand, is what are those landing beaches for? Orange 1, Orange 2. I think it's probably for other scenarios we're not playing. That's what I think. That's fine. We're using these beaches down here. And yeah, we can bring in the 3rd Division. And then by doing so, it reduces the overall game length by a certain number of turns per. So the earlier we bring them in, the more turns we have to take off the game length. So I don't know the exact formula. We'd have to look it up. It's an interesting idea, but where would we put them? I mean, if you look at the map, we have units everywhere. So it's just another division we have to figure out and make room for. I would like to maybe use another division to go up, you know, the north side. And then, you know, while we're going down the south and this way. But for now, we're not quite ready. So we're going to let it be. So we finished the HQ phase. And now we're going to move to the event. So let's see if we get a good one. It is February 20th, and it's Japanese depth. That's never a good one. So the depth markers, I'm pretty sure, are going to go here. This is an A5. So he's getting one. And it's Sector 1. So they have plenty of depth markers. So he gets one. In red. That was a pooper. Okay, so then it's their turn to attack. And I don't even know what to wish for. I think we're going to take a lot of hits. I think we need to wish for orange and blue to not be in this pool. But then I'm looking at red and other colors too. So I just think, you know, maybe a brown would be nice. Not purple. Brown and green would be the 2 colors that would be the most beneficial. Everything else is pretty bad. So let's see. Well, we didn't get what we wanted. So gold is happening. And I'm looking at the board here. Gold hits here and here, but that's a hero that can't be hit. So, but it's an A action, so we got to pay attention. I need to pay attention. This is an A action. It's not the same as just firing. So let me show you what that does. So it's occupied, and we do have a heavy weapons in his field of fire. So we look at what the A action does, and he's doing an assault. So one unit with a depth marker moves into adjacent U.S. occupied hex and conducts counter or close combat in counterattack stance. So what if he doesn't have a depth marker? All right, so then we got to look up what that means in the rule book. Oh, yeah. So I know what an assault is. It is different from previous D-Day games, so now I'm stuck looking it up because I don't know what the whole depth marker thing is asking us to do. Okay, so it only occurs if it's an occupied position without artillery. This one has artillery. Okay, so what do I do if... Yeah, this is annoying. Okay, so it says that it's doing an assault because we have units in the field of fire. But when I go and look up assault, it says it's only going to attack anybody that's in its intense fire zone, and nobody's in its intense fire zone. Let me show you. It's here, and his intense fire zone is just immediately around him. And then to make matters worse, it says that he won't assault if he's an artillery, which he is. So then you would expect it to say, well, if none of these are true, then this is what he does. And it doesn't. It just says... It says, if a Japanese occupied position without artillery has U.S. units in its intense field of fire, move the Japanese unit and its depth marker from the position into a hex to conduct close combat. Black PG, ignore assault actions. Do not assign this to a black PG from another color. Now, the unoccupied position would be an ambush. And then here's the artillery action, right? So artillery is what happens if you're further away. It's for an occupied position with the artillery symbol. If there is a U.S. unit in the position's intense field of fire, conduct the following. If no U.S. unit is in the intense field of fire, ignore the action. So I'm going to ignore the action because that's what it says to do for artillery. Because I would have said, okay, well, fine, then I'll do the situation where it's occupied, but there's no U.S. units in its field of fire. So then that would have resulted in an artillery strike. But it says no artillery either. So we don't do anything for that. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, this other one is going to happen, but this is where it's beautiful. And here's why. This guy is going to assault us. We do have damaged units here. But otherwise, he was going to do 2 hits on us, and then we'd get disrupted again, which is crap, right? So now he's going to assault us, and we may actually damage him. And we reveal his marker, which is even more awesome. So that's what I'm saying. This A action is actually sort of okay to get. I never complained too much about that. Now red, so we'll do a close combat with him. Red is attacking, and it's going to hurt. Red has 1, 2, 3, 4 units here, and you can see that they're going to do 4 hits. And so the red pips are intense here and there, so we're going to take hits in a lot of spots against red, even there, but we're not there. So red was an awful draw, and if we look, this guy's immune to intense fire, which is why he's there. And he has a hit. This one's immune to intense fire. This one is not. He already has a step loss. This one is not. He already has a step loss. Okay, so what we can do is we can disrupt 2 units to avoid a hit. But can I then hit the units that also got disrupted? I think the answer is yes. Otherwise, both of these guys are taking a hit. But even if I disrupt them both, well, they're getting disrupted no matter what. So because remember, this is an unrevealed unit. So we're going to disrupt both units to avoid one hit. But it hits both of the units, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this one to its two-step side, and this is 5th Division, so I'm going to put this in the 5th Division losses, like so. And I still desperately want to know where the CL value is for this scenario, so I can know what the catastrophic loss limit is. I mean, I'm even looking at scenario 1 here, and it doesn't even tell you what the CL value is. So the only thing that I found was this section on catastrophic loss that has nothing to do with CL values. That CL thing, by the way, is a carryover from Pelelu, and I'm wondering if they copied and pasted the rules and then forgot to take it out. So it's 4 rifle companies for any one division. It only takes one of the 3 divisions to reach the limit before March 1st. Then that limit drops to 3. So what does that mean, 4 rifle companies? Include only the fully eliminated units, and whenever a rifle company loses a second step. This is signified by placing a step loss marker. Thus, an eliminated infantry unit adds 2 counters. So it says if I hit 4, then I lose by March 1st. And then after that, the limit drops to 3. Oh, here we go. It says some scenarios list catastrophic loss limits. Otherwise, use these values. 4 is pretty low. Here's what I mean by that. I mean, look, I'm already at 3 and 2. So I need to get these guys repaired ASAP, or I need to get them off the area. That's quite brutal, in fact. So now the good news is, if I repair these guys that you see up here, when they're repaired, we take it from these boxes and give it back, right? So, okay. We're near losing the game, I guess. I didn't even realize that. I was having a good time. Okay. That is red. Now, black also fires, and black is hitting 4 units. So if I look on green here, this is a intense black. This guy's immune. This one is not. And then these are tanks. So I have 2 tanks here. So what I'm going to do is I can take a step loss with a tank to reduce 2 hits on the units here. The tank was going to take a hit anyways, so it was fine, right? So I take a step loss with the tank to reduce 2 hits. He's doing 4 total hits, so I'm going to do a step loss with the other tank as well, and then that absorbed all 4 hits. So these 2 tanks took a hit, and I can replenish them in the morning, assuming they're not in intense fire, and the tanks protected my units, so I live for another day. And then this guy doesn't take a hit because he's infantry, or heavy weapons. Okay, so then we have the last one, which is a green R, and that is the blessing one because there's no green anywhere. So all the pirates have been gotten rid of. Otherwise, it would have been R. So I know that was bad. I'm sorry. You know, their favorite restaurant is Arby's. We got it all day. So we go over here, and this guy's firing, and he's also hitting 4 units, which is brutal because we've already taken a pounding as it is. This one can't get hit. This one can't get hit. He can't get hit. He can't get hit. This one can, and that one can. So they're already disrupted, so I think they have to absorb the hits. And the black dots, as you can see, are on the map. Oh, hey, look. There's no black dots on green. And he said that the map is correct and not the sheet. Ooh. See, look. See the solid black dot? And there's no solid black dot here. So I'm going to heal my tanks back up. Nobody takes a hit. Now there is a solid black dot here, but these guys already took hits. I think they're even disrupted. So it's going to be the green. Okay, so a really good question is if I disrupt a unit to not take a hit, does that mean that another firing position can still hit them? Because there is the 1 hit rule. Your units can only be hit once. So that's an interesting question. This would be under Japanese fire. I think it's not going to work out in our favor here because it's a given unit may not lose more than 1 step in a single Japanese fire phase, even if hit by multiple positions. A unit may be disrupted from fire by 1 position and may lose a step because of fire from another position. So I think it's not what we want. So, all right, so with this in mind, and me understanding how the catastrophic loss works, I think I would have been a lot more aggressive at healing my guys and getting them off the front. So forgive me here. If we lose, I might continue playing. Because I think I had plenty of opportunity to heal these guys. And what I'm talking about is during our HQ phase, we could have healed these guys up here. So let's just say that I did that. So to avoid the loss. So this guy needs to be healed 1 time to get rid of this, right? And then he needs to be healed 1 more time to get flipped back over. And he's the 4th Marine, so we would take a step loss marker from the casualty box. And now he looks like this. So that would be 2 heals for the 4th Division. And we're talking about, I know we're at this phase, but that's if we were here, right? So bearing in mind the loss conditions, that was extremely important. Because remember I said, oh, I'll just do this later. So then if we look at these ones, there's 1 heal and then another heal. And see, look, this guy takes back a loss marker. And so that's 2 from the 5th. Sorry. So that already makes our position a lot better. And you can see here we have 1 from the 5th here and 1 from the 5th here. So these are the 2 from the 5th that are contributing to these 2 markers. And then there's somewhere one's contributing to that one. And I think it's yeah, it's that guy. All right, so that's the situation. I think we're done with the fire phase. No, we're not even close to being done. This guy hits 4 units. We didn't resolve that yet. So we said that, this guy is immune, but these ones are not. So I think they're both taking a hit. So the engineer will take a hit, and then this guy will lose a step. So that's 2 of the hits. And of course they're all disrupted. And this is going to hit 4 units. So we need to find more units to hit. Everybody else is not in their intense fire. So now we look at it's a diamond. So I look here, and that's a diamond, so this is a potential hit. And I keep looking for other diamonds, and I'm not seeing any, so I might actually have to take yet another hit with this guy. There's a diamond on this tank, but the tank is not in intense fire. There's no diamond in their range except for this one guy, so this guy is taking yet another hit, and he's almost dead. So I think I need to get him out of dodge so he can heal. He's down to 1 step. Okay, so 37 minutes. Now we do another event, and it's an airstrike, which I think is a good event. I don't know what exactly it does, but let's find out. We gain an airstrike marker. Excellent. So remember, we get one at every morning. We get one. So I'm going to move my carrier up, and we're at our max limit of 2. So we need to use 1 airstrike before the end of the day, because we always get 1 every day, right? So we have to use at least 1. So airstrike is good. We will take it. Cheeky good. Okay. So not quite done. I drew the event before resolving this, the close combat here. So let's do that. So here's what's really cool. We get to reveal it. So we get to see that he was a 1 pump chump, which basically the 1 pump chump here is real easy to kill. And this one is also easy to get artillery as long as you have a tank nearby. Or we can even use a divisional artillery to satisfy that. Just 1 point is all you need. Okay, so, but they are there, and so they're going to get 2 units for 2 cards for being Japanese. And let me find the close combat. They get 1 if they're attacking, but not for counterattack, which is what this is. This is a counterattack. They get 1 for every close combat. They don't have it. They get 1 for terrain, and they don't have good terrain. So they get 2 cards. Let me back the camera up so you can see better. And then we have 2, 5, 7 pips. So that means 2 cards for us. And then we have a flamethrower. So that's 1 more for us. And we get 1 more for them counterattacking. So when they're attacking us, I guess it's because we're dug in, you know, maybe that makes us a little stronger is what that's emphasizing. And, but yes, we don't have a hero. We had a flamethrower. We're good. So that's our cards. They always go first. It's their color that they're coming from. So it's orange. And of course they have an orange and they have a reinforce. It's just brutal all around. He's getting a card. We take a hit. So I'm going to take an engineering hit. And we lose a card. And that would have been a hit for us. That's bad. Okay, so now we go, and we do hit. So that's good. He's not disrupted or anything. So first thing that happens to him is he just gets a disruption marker. He does lose his top card, which would have been a hit, so that's a blessing. And then he goes, and there's no hit, which is good. So now we just have 2 cards left, and we get a hit, which is awesome. So his depth marker is destroyed, and I just put it in the eliminated units section. And then we go again, and look at that. We get a hit, and we get heroism, which means we would have gotten another card. And he would have lost a card, but it doesn't matter. It was enough to kill him. So that part was awesome. And we ended this combat with only our engineer being disrupted, because it's whoever got hit gets disrupted. And I think we said that we're using green this turn. So there you have it. Okay, so we did the second event, and now it's time for us to do our action phase. But I'm realizing we missed something. The Japanese now, starting on turn 7, they actually replenish their troops. And I kind of remember where they do that. So we need to find this now. It's called The Culling. It sounds like a movie title. So when Japanese elite units are eliminated, during the first event of each morning. Okay, so technically we were supposed to do this during the morning of turn 7. 2 elite units get selected. 1 gets a side and is removed permanently from play. Do not reveal it. If there are any positions still Japanese occupied in Sector 3, place the other unit face down in the Sector 3 reserve. So my attempts to try to prevent me from having to sort through the units again is going to just fail miserably here. If there's no Japanese in Sector 3, then it goes into Sector 4. We repeat it. And then we do the same thing with depth markers. So I forgot to do that. Sector 3 still has 34 depth markers in it, so I think we're safe. So the next time we get to the morning phase, just understand that we have to go through the eliminated pile, and 1 gets out of the game forever, and the other 1 goes into Sector 3. That's basically the rule we missed, and so my apologies there. We're supposed to do that every morning. And like I said, this game would benefit from having a morning chart somewhere, just telling me these are all the things that happen in the morning. You get artillery, you have to do the culling, you have to, that's when you get to reinforce units on the field, all those things. And I think I'm learning very quickly, you need to not be chintzy with your reinforcements because the catastrophic loss limit is extremely low. So you can't just hold on to it and then just have a bunch of points to spend at the end. That's not how this game's working. So anyways, let's go on. We're now to our phase, the action phase. Let's murder, death, kill. Okay, so I am quite confident that I'm going to send some units to get some R&R. So like this one, I think I'm going to send him to get, so he doesn't get hit. But we have garrison here. We can move 3 spaces, and we're going to do exactly that. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now I know we're on a terrace. I actually think we're limited to only 1 space on the terrace, so I will back up. And this one I am going to send to recovery, and this one will go here. Okay, so I do have a disrupted unit here. This is an HW unit, so I can keep him charging. We moved actually within 3 spaces of this blank red. So we need to draw a card right now, and if it's red, he gets reinforced. And there's a red, so he gets reinforced. So we grab a depth marker and a reinforcement, and it goes there. So red does have a field of fire on us, and it is an issue. So with that said, I'm just going to move my HW 1, 2, 3 right into his field of fire. We do have to draw for this spot right here, and there's no star on the red, so he doesn't take a hit. So we're fine. And then now his muff is only around him, so we could freely move here and here. So I'm going to move this guy to here, and he has a range of 2, so he can maybe help. And then I'm going to move these 3 guys to there, and this one to there, to just get them caught up. We're all near our HQ. This one I could move, but I'm going to set him still because I don't want to lose my engineer. That's disrupted, so I'm going to just wait for him. We have, this guy is in charge of the 23rd, and none of his units that belong to him are in here. So we got to figure out where they are. Actually, in fact, I see a 23rd way bloody over there. The 23rd is here, and he only has a range of 2, so this guy is only in charge of himself. This one is the 26th. That one's the 26th. The 26th is all up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this headquarters. 1, 2, 3. So now he's in range of HQ. And then this guy is going to move 1, 2. He is in range. I mean, these guys are all in headquarters range. This one actually just moved out of headquarters range, so I may need to use a battalion HQ to support him. This one's the 23rd, so we're going to move up. I think I moved this guy here. I can move him there instead. I'm looking at the red dots to make sure I can do that. I do have to draw fire, and there is no red, so we're fine. No, I don't have to draw fire because this guy has him suppressed. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to scheme how to get this unit up to there. You know, this one we're going to move to there. We're just trying to get these units crack-a-lackin'. And 1, 2, 3. I'm just basically charging the airport with these units. Okay, so now we can do some attacks here. And this one is a close combat requirement. So I can try to barrage him. And I'm just looking. See, I have a tank here. So there's one tank, which is actually 3 strength. No, 4 strength. And then this tank over here is also 4 strength, and he's not disrupted. So let's get rid of some disruption markers here. So you can combine 2 tanks together if they're next to each other and they're in HQ with radio. So let's think about this. This one is... I just have a hard time with these tokens. This one is not in HQ, but they are the 23rd. So this one has a range of 2, so they are. This one's in HQ. Now the question is this one? And there is no HQ for this one. However, this guy is right next to him. And he's the 24th. And the 24th headquarters is... there. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't see. 24th headquarters is here. The range is 2, and then his range is 3. And so he's 1st Battalion, and he can control this tank. And in fact, these are 1st Battalion as well. So this is the HQ unit for that. In fact, I'm going to move him there. So, oh, can I? Yes, I can. So I'm going to move this HQ back there. So, nope. I'm going to move the HQ to there. Because we're going to go after Brown here. But what I'm trying to say is he was in HQ range. Because this HQ was within 2 of this, and he was able to supply that. So I know it's a very convoluted thing. This supplies this, and this supplies that. So where I'm going with is I'm going to barrage this guy. So my goal is I want to disrupt him, and I want to get rid of his depth marker. So I did it with 2 tanks that I can combine together for a strength of 8. Now I have to pick a symbol for my tanks, and I'm just going to pick the triangle here. And let's draw. See what we get. Quick draw, McGraw. All right, I did not get the triangle. The color I'm bombarding is blue though, so I got the color. Okay, so it's an 8 strength attack. Or no, it's only 3. Tanks can only use 3 points. So it's a 6 strength attack. So it's this one. And I matched the color only. So here you can see everybody's disrupted. The artillery, if it had any, would be destroyed. And I did not get the depth marker. But I did at least disrupt him. So that's something. Okay, so why was it important that I do that? Well, because I have to close combat this guy, and that's just 1/3 of my hits that I need. So now I'm looking at my stuff, like this guy already has a step loss, but he's the only one able to close combat. The rest of these guys, I can attack from far away, but I'm not going to get rid of the depth marker. So I'm going to go ahead and close combat here, and let's resolve that now. And I'm not going to put it on top. We're just going to say these guys. So this is a 3-step, and this is a 2-step. So I only have 5 step points. So this is going to be a tough battle. So with 5 step points, I only get 2 cards, but we'll start with them. They get 2 cards and then 1 for CC. And then we're going to get 2 cards for our steps. No, 1 card for our step. 5 divided by 3 is 1. And then we're going to get 1 for flamethrower. And that's it. So it's slim pickings for us. They go first, and the color's blue. And this was the worst possible outcome. So we took a step loss, and that means we're suffering a casualty loss for 4th Marine, and we lose our card, which thankfully was not going to be a hit anyways. So now we go, and this is our only shot, and we do hit them. So his depth marker is destroyed, but the depth marker wasn't the thing causing us the problems, right? It was the fact that he requires close combat. We caused him to lose his top card, which would have been a hit, so that's good. And then he goes, and he has a blue, so we take yet another hit. And so we're now down to 1 step with that unit, and he's disrupted as well. So not a great outcome for us. The good news is the Japanese unit's still disrupted, so we don't have to worry about him hitting us, and we now have him surrounded with a lot of units. So from that perspective, we're fine. But that's the deal with close combat, is you definitely take hits. I think the hard part is I'm taking on 2 black fortresses at once, and keeping my catastrophic losses down to only 4 is brutal. So let's go to here. This guy is not disrupted because these guys are revealed. And I know this one's unrevealed, but it doesn't matter. This is revealed, and so they're not disrupting us anymore. This guy, of course, is revealed on the top, and he only needs an MG. I actually think we might be able to kill him through a normal attack. So we're going to do it. I'm going to do a normal attack with these 2 units here. And this is an HQ, so they're in full control. And then these are the 24th Division. But they're within, they're the 3rd Battalion, and this is their headquarters. So this guy controls his space and one space around him. So basically what I'm trying to say is they're all eligible to attack, and they will. So these two are attacking from 2 spaces away. This is a 4 strength unit. And then this is a 6 strength divided by 2. This is a 3 strength unit. So that's 7 strength for these. And then this is 3 more for 10. And then you can see this one is 4 minus probably 2. So this is 2 more for 12. That's 12 strength against this. Is that enough? Is the question. My answer is it has to be, because I need all my artillery for other purposes. So we're doing a 12 strength attack. We meet the MG requirement, so that part's done. And he's not doubled or anything, so let's go over to here. It's an unrevealed depth marker, and we have a 3-to-1 easily, so it's a JDX. So a JDX is all Japanese units disrupted and 1 depth marker is eliminated. We don't even have to reveal the depth marker. Isn't that crazy? This new system that the designer came up with is crazy. I like seeing what it was. That would have been a flamethrower. And just so you know, if this was revealed, we still would have annihilated him. So that was a well-done attack. I am extremely pleased with that one. And then he's disrupted, which means we don't have to worry about him hitting us. I am very worried about this guy. He is in a field of fire, and I can't remove him from the lines until he's out of field of fire. So that means I need to get this guy disrupted. If he's disrupted, then this half circle turns into no circle, even though he still fires while he's disrupted. Now, you can see here I got 2 disrupted units. I'm going to use my airstrike on this because I don't want to be at my max for airstrikes. So I'm going to use the airstrike that we got as per the event on that. And so let's do it. I'm excited. Let's kick some fortress ass. All right, so airstrikes are attack strength of 5, and they use a circle. And there's a circle. And now, to determine that we hit the black, you would think that this is actually what we're looking for right here, which sounds awesome, but it has to be a color that's within 3 spaces of that black location, and it's an orange. And then you can see here that there is an orange within 3 spaces of that black location. So we easily satisfied this. Actually, these 2 would not have, so we got lucky. There's 2 purples near him, but the orange gave it to us, not because of the black above the orange, but because the orange is within 3 spaces of him. That's the reason why we got it. And then the fact that we got this plus the circle, now that's awesome sauce. Okay, so here's the thing we have to do. We're not greater than 6 strengths, so we have to shift left. That's the unfortunate part about this. So we had a 5 and we had a perfect hit. So you would have had this situation, but now we got to shift left 1 because it's a fortification. And that's the rule for a fortress, fortification step, attack. Yeah, all barrages against a hilltop fortification suffer a column shift left, except for those whose barrage strength is greater than 6. Sorry if you can't see that. It says it right here. So we're doing an airstrike with a strength 5. So here's what, there's still some good news to be said here. First of all, D1 means we disrupt 1 Japanese unit, and that's all we need to do because disrupting him means that this stack of 3 is no longer firing on us. That is huge. So now black is only going to be able to hit us once. Excuse me. The next thing is the artillery is destroyed. I guarantee you there's an artillery here. Yep, see there's an artillery there. So we grab an artillery destroyed marker and we put that baby right there. And so they lost their artillery. And if you remember, you probably don't because it's been a while, artillery counts as 2 points. So we go to sector 3 and he loses 2 points of artillery strength for the rest of the game. It's out forever. He never gets it back. So huge. Trump would be proud. Huge. Okay, so that was just the airstrike. And then, oh, it also has this little symbol here. Now, this is awesome too. So we're going to draw a card, and I believe as long as the color of the card matches something within 3 hexes again, I think it's that something within 3 hexes thing again, then we destroy the fortification. So I'm looking it up just to make sure. Oh, why can't I ever find it when I'm trying to find things? I think it's under the barrage rules. .4.2. Oh, it's telling me to go to section 17, which is the fortification section. Just another thing, when we were calculating the strength of that unit when we assaulted it normal attack, I forgot to add the strength of the fortification. So that was a mistake I made a few turns ago, or last turn. If the displays an asterisk, there's a chance the fort is reduced. Pick one card from the fresh deck. If the color of the landing symbol matches one of the card's fire colors, the fort is... Oh, it's a little different. Okay, so this isn't the 3 hex check. This one is... See these 3 colors here? Orange, gold, and brown? The landing, this thing up here, of this new card has to match one of those. So it's orange. Da-ding! Chicken dinner right there. Okay, so what happened is with the airstrike, even though the Japanese units are still alive, we just reduced this from a class 2 to a class 3. So this is destroyed, and we just grab a class 3 randomly, and now he has a class 3 fortress. Like so. So we're not done, folks. We're gonna keep pounding this sucker. We can still attack, which I'm not quite ready to do. This guy can attack with a range 2. This guy can't really do anything, although I may move the headquarters up. I don't know. Nope, I can't. I'm at my limit there. Here's another HW unit that is of the 23rd. So if I move him up, I'm going to be out of range. So that's an issue. But I think this headquarter down here can absorb 1 extra unit. So I may do something there. Yeah, I'm going to move my heavy weapon up. I'm going to get rid of these disruption markers, but just know that this stack and this stack is not eligible to do anything. So what I'm looking for here is I'm pretty sure I have tanks that can barrage it. That's what I'm looking for. So there's 1 tank, and only 1 tank. Is there one here? Nope. I bet the other one's here, isn't it? I only have 1 tank? Oh, that hurts. So I only have 1 tank to actually help with the barrages. Well, that tank is just going to participate in an attack, I think. No, only barrages can destroy it. So a naval barrage can really put the hurt on him. I only have 1 of those. I'm wondering if I should use it. I have 1 tank. So if this tank were to barrage, it would be a 3 strength barrage. I don't think I can combine tank with artillery. I can combine multiple tanks together to get to 6 strength, but I can't do that with artillery. That's a bummer. I need another tank. I thought for sure I had another one there. Yep, not there either. Well, let's look at the barrage chart. In order to reduce the strength, you can easily see that I need to get to a 4. And that's a perfect match. And I always have to shift left if it's against a hilltop. So I need a 6 or a 5, and then it has to be a perfect here. If I get a 6, I actually don't shift left with a 6. So it's actually impossible to get this 5 result. No, even if it's a 6 that shifts left, I have to get a 7 to prevent it from shifting left. So yes, that 5 result is possible. But here you can see that you can reduce the fort even if you only match the color. So I'm looking at a situation where I have a tank that can attack with a 3 strength, and I have an artillery, because I can also use my artillery, my divisional artillery, but divisional artillery can only be 3 points as well. And it's a single barrage. I can't combine it with the tank barrage. Only the tanks can combine with each other. So this is a huge planning failure on my part. I needed another tank. If I had 2, then I'm able to cook with Pam and combine them together and get 6 strength, and then possibly reduce that fort again. So the only thing I can do is close combat. And close combat is not possible because this guy is only 1 step for purposes of close combat. And so he's not even going to get a card. He'll get 1 card for flamethrower, and that's it. So he's not a good candidate for that. So what I am going to do is we're going to just attack the snot out of this thing and hope to get that disruption marker destroyed, or the depth marker destroyed. So this is a strength 4. This is a strength 9 attack. And then the tank will join in with a 4 more attack. Actually, I think that's 3 attack. Well, it's 3 when it's barraging. So it's a 4. And I swear, I wish I had another tank. Now I have this tank way up here. And so I could move this tank down, and I will. So now I have a tank to help in the future. So I'm pretty sure I didn't move that tank up here. I know I did stuff with this unit up here, but this tank is going to move down, and now it's available to help. Okay? I think this guy... Nope. This guy has the tank. Yep, he does. All right, so I just moved my tanks the wrong way. Okay, so next turn, my tanks might be able to do something. I can't do anything with this until I reveal it, and I have to have somebody who's not disrupted and did not just move this turn to reveal this. So this guy is still pesky. But I'm going to do an attack here. 9 and 4 is 13, and then 4 more from the tank is 17. Remember, you have to cut it in half if you're doing range attacks. So I have a 17 strength attack against this thing, and I don't think that's enough. I really don't. So I'm going to add 3 more for my 4th Division artillery. So I'm going to come over to here to the 4th Division Marines and add 1, 2, 3, like that. And so that would make it 20, right? 9, 13, and 4 is 17, and then 3 more from the artillery is 20. So that's a 20 strength attack. So here's what we got. This is a 2 times 2 is 4, right? And this is a 4 times 2 is 8. So 4 and 8 is 12. And then this is a class 3 now. And the strength of a class 3 is, I wish they wrote it down. Sorry, I'm just writing it down so I don't ever have to look this up again. Section 17, by the way, is where you're going to go. Fortification. Oh, I'm really glad I read this. Remember how we did 4 hits over here? There is a limit. It's limited to 3 hits per position. So even if you have a double fortress, you don't count, even though each fortress is a unit, it doesn't count towards the hits. So my apologies there. We actually had 1 too many hits on the other side of the beach. So maybe we weren't quite as close to catastrophic loss as I thought. Okay, so the strength of these forts. I'm just trying to find it real quick here. Here we go. A class 1 has a strength of 3. A 2 has a class of 2, and a 3 has a defense of 1. And it's not multiplied. So what I'm doing is I'm just writing on my cheat sheet here. So this is a 3, this is a 2, and this is a 1 in terms of their strength, and then it's not multiplied. By terrain. Okay. So this is 1. So we said that that was 12. This is 13 strength. That's what we calculated. This needs a bazooka, a flamethrower, and a naval gun. Oh, we should have added a naval gun then to the attack. But do I want to waste a naval gun? In all honesty, I don't. But I think we could eliminate this unit if I do. So we're allowed to pre-calculate how this is going to play out because these were already revealed. So this thing is a 13 strength, and we said we were at 20. Now, if we add the naval gun, that's going to add 6 more. But let's figure this out. So 20 to 13 is like 1.5 to 1. So it's somewhere between, I mean, that's 1.5 right there. So 3 to 2. And it's a, with a revealed depth marker, that's a JX. So the depth marker would be eliminated. See? Depth marker is eliminated. It's a JX outcome. But we would actually move to the JD because we don't satisfy all of the requirements of the weapons. And if we move to JD, then the Japanese units are disrupted, so it would not work. So if we add the naval gun, we can, it would actually move us to 26, which is a 2 to 1. So that would actually move us 1 in this direction. And then we'd have a JDX. And so here you'd see all Japanese units disrupted and the depth marker is eliminated. It's already disrupted. So now the question becomes is, did I really want to attack this thing? I'm not going to get any positive outcome. And so I think after all that discussion, I either have to spend a naval gun, and then I can get rid of this depth marker, or I just leave it be. What a tough choice. I'm saving my naval gun for marriage. No, I'm serious. I'm saving my naval gun because my thoughts are I need it for Suribachi, which we haven't even talked about yet this turn. But if I use my naval gun, all I'm going to do is get rid of this depth marker. That's the only thing it accomplishes. And then I still have to destroy the unit and the fort. Oh, such a tough choice. If I had more strength in my attack, I could have had a better outcome. The 20 points was not enough, is what the bottom line is here. And so with that said, you know, I still have movement left, right? So I'm going to move this guy here. So now he's 2 away and can help with an attack. And then I have this guy here. Also, I'm going to move 2. So we have two Utes to help out. And so what I'm going to do is take back the artillery because the artillery is not needed. We're not even going to attack them. the outcome would not help us. It would just disrupt the Japanese unit, and it's already disrupted. Now, removing the depth marker does remove how many hits he can do on us. I mean, that's sort of okay. But remember, the only places he can hit are here. This one is in jeopardy because I was foolish enough to move regular units up here. And so that part's in jeopardy. But I think we're okay. I'm going to leave it be. So yes, all that talking, folks, to do nothing. There's a garrison here, and these are the 24th. So I'm just going to move them forward, closer to the action. This guy here is the 25th. So I will move them to here, get them closer to the action. There's no garrison there. This one is the 23rd. He does not have support, meaning there's no command of him. So I'm looking for, oh, nope, right there he is. So this guy is in command. He's the 27th, and the 27th HQ is here, I believe. Nope, that's the 28th. This is the 27th. Okay, this one has a range of 2, and so this headquarters is not quite in range. If he was in range, he would have a range of 3, but right now he only has a range of 2, so with where he's standing right now, this guy is not in command, so he can't do anything this turn. This one can do something, so he's going to move 1, 2, 3, because he's an HQ, and he can get into the thick of it. This one, or this one, they both have step losses, so I don't really care for them that much. The step losses are becoming a big deal. So I think maybe, since right now they're not doing anything for me, I'm going to send both of these to reserve. And actually, in doing so, I'm going to have an entire battalion in the reserve. A, B, and C are all there. So it's the 1st Battalion of the 27th Regiment is in the reserve. Okay, so in doing that, I have garrisons here, so this guy can go try to save the world somewhere. And he could go here. Why not? I think the idea with him is that everybody else is going to get pounded long before he would. And then this guy has a tank and an engineer. So if I move him forward, these guys are all going to fall out of command because that's that's the rest of his battalion. So that's my issue with this guy here. I can move him forward, but his battalion is sort of playing guard duty. So I'm going to just sit him tight for now. So now we got this mess over here to deal with. This guy is not in the field of fire of anything, so we got to get him out of Dodge. So he's going to go into the 5th Marine Reserve. I'm just making sure. Yeah, he can only be hit by green and yellow, and we control both of those. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to do. We want to reveal this guy, because we have to, or otherwise we can't hurt him. We have a step loss here with this one, and we have an HQ. So we have all kinds of stuff going on here. So first things first, this HQ is going to reveal this one. It's an elite, as you can see. It has an MG and a flank requirement. The flank requirement is awful. We're a 3, they're a 2. So it's a 3 to 2. He is on just the regular sandy beach. And he's by himself. So we move up to here, and he's going to get a depth marker and then revealed. So that's actually a bad outcome for us. I probably shouldn't have done that. So he gets a revealed depth marker, and you can see it needs naval artillery, which is interesting. How's that different than naval gun? So some of them say NA and some of them say NG. That's interesting. NA is naval artillery, so then what's NG? I think that also is naval. I think that's another typo they made in the game rules transition. All right, so so we reveal, and it adds another 2 strength, so now it's a 4 to 3, so we are in probably this range here, and we're disrupted. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's a no effect, but nothing happens. So this guy all of a sudden got stronger. But this unit here is a strength 7, and we're going to attack this one with him. So we reveal, and that also needs a flank and a mortar. And it's a strength 3, and he's on a, it looks like it's a mountainish terrain. That would be, God only knows what that is. A mountain level 4 and 5 is doubled. And a 4 is this really dark, and that's super dark. And here, I'll zoom in for you. You tell me what it is. It's this spot right here. See, that's not really dark or super dark. It's just sort of dark. I mean, I get the graphics look beautiful, but telling one from the other on this is just impossible. So I have super dark to sort of dark, and then this looks too light, right? It's somewhere in between these two is what it looks like. It looks like that little brown you see next to the road there. But I don't see anything else to choose from. You know, the closer I look at it, it's a level 3. So that's essentially a clear. So, okay, so he's not doubled or anything. He's a 3. And I was a 9, 8, 7. So it's a 2 to 1. And we don't match him. And so you can see there's no effect. Okay, so that's the outcome, which I was expecting that. I mean, our heavy weapons is very powerful. So now we go to this next guy. And so he's going to attack here, this artillery. So here you see we have a radio, and it has a close combat requirement. We were strength 9. We definitely have the radio. We don't have the close combat requirement. So that's unfortunate. Now, I guess I could have had this guy join in. So before I sit there and look at the outcome of this, 9 to 3 is already a triple. But because we don't meet this, this would get reduced by 1. But I could have had these two guys join in 2 spaces away. That would have added 8 more strength. I'm going to do that because those guys aren't going to move anywhere. I don't think I'm going to move them forward because these are intense fire zones. So I know there's a slight renege going on there, but it's just me looking at how long I'm taking to take my turn. And all right, so now we got another issue though. We're going across a bluff hex side, so our strength is halved. So that range strength is going across a bluff hex side here. See, it's going up a bluff, and then this is actually going up another bluff. Well, actually, if you just go this way, it's up 1 bluff, right? So I said that it would be an 8 because it's already half strength when they're shooting from 2 away. It would actually only turn into a 4. So this would be 13 to 3, which is 4 to 1, reduced to 3 to 1. And here's why it's important. If you look at this, it's either a JD or a JE. A JD is all the units are disrupted. A JE is he's defeated. However, even though I'm 4 to 1, it's not like I'm on this imaginary row. The best I can do is disrupt him. So here's the bottom line. It didn't matter if I reneged my turn or not. Since I don't meet the requirements, the best outcome I can do is disrupt him. And I can do that without these guys joining in. So if that puts everybody's mind at rest. But the good news is he's disrupted. And that's important because this purple did have intense fire into these zones. And so I was able to disrupt him. Now this guy needs to be revealed. I can't reveal him from 2 spaces away. So the headquarters is charging in. This one and that one are fools for being there. But I have 2 tanks. And so I can disrupt something. And so what I'm going to do is, yeah, these guys are in trouble. These 2 tanks are going to try to disrupt this guy. Because I need to disrupt one of these 2. And I think this is the more important one. So I'm going to try to disrupt this guy. And it's a red. And I am going to combine the 2 tanks together for a broad strength of 6, and I'm going to pick the triangle. They're both triangles, so it's going to be a triangle. No triangle, no red. It's a bunch of crap. So we have 6, no fire color or symbol. Nothing happens, but we could have destroyed a fortification. But there's no fortification on this one. So we don't even disrupt the dang thing. I am so upset. I could have done 2 3-strength barrages. And I could have, actually. The only reason to do 6 strength was to destroy artillery or if I wanted to disrupt the fortress. So actually, that's not even an artillery spot. If you forgive me, that would be my first tank, and then I'll just do my second tank. And I still failed miserably. No red. So the game just isn't letting me rethink my turn. Okay, that's it. I think everybody else is cannon fodder, and I think this HQ and this HQ I moved in from afar, so they've already moved. I could do something with these units, but they've already taken damage, and getting them closer, as you can see, these are the black intense dots. These guys are still able to do a full damage on us. So until this guy attacks, I can't do anything. And then this guy, of course, is a suicide run, but I have to do it. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. All right, that's 1 hour and 28 minutes. These turns are definitely taking longer. We're done with our U.S. turn, and now we go to Japanese artillery. And this is where we're going to get pounded. Sector 1 here, I did not destroy the artillery. So he's still a full 12 strength, which is divided by 2/3. So, I mean, we know that's going to be 8, right? It's going to use 8 strength on the units that are within his sector. And I'm just checking to see if anybody can get hit. And actually, the heavy weapons is the only one that can get hit. And that's, I think it's going to be almost impossible to avoid this. So the heavy weapons unit might take another loss. It's divided by 10, so 8 divided by 10, I think, is still going to be rounded up. I don't think it's enough. Yeah, it's a 0.8. And the only unit here that can take a hit is this heavy weapons. So this is a 5th Infantry, so we have a catastrophic loss. And then I flip this over. That's not good. It's just because of the damn artillery. I could have chosen to disrupt everybody in that space. Is that a better outcome? I mean, these are both... They both need flank. I'm going to disrupt the space. So I'm going to give him his step loss back. and we'll disrupt the space. Okay, now we go to sector 2. We're going to get 4 from here, and this guy does not get halved because he has command over it. But then this is a new number. It's now 26, and it's 26 times 1/3. So 26 divided by 3 is 8. And then we have to divide that by 2 because he's attacking over another sector. So that's 4 plus the 4 from Suribachi. We have an 8 strength barrage going into sector 2. And sector 2 is divided by 6, and it's pretty much going to be a 1, I think. Yep, it's a 1.38. And so 1 unit gets hit, and it's going to be near the airport. And it's this guy right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to disrupt him because he's not doing anything for us anyways. So we'll just disrupt him instead of taking the hit. Then we go over to here, and this is 26 times 2 divided by 3 because 2/3 of his units are going to be used, and it's a 17 strength. And it's a 7. So divided by 7, we're going to get 2.47, just enough to round down. So 2 units are getting hit. So I'm looking up here at these units, and they do have a range 2 attack, which is nice, but I think that they are perfect candidates to just get disrupted. And then these ones are going to lose their disruption marker. So I'm going to disrupt that stack to avoid the hits. And oh, I forgot to add sector 4. Sector 4 has 10. So he would have added 3 more points divided by 7. I think that might have pushed us up to yeah, that puts us to 2.9. So that means 3 units are getting hit. So this is 1, 2, and I have to pick 1 more unit to get hit. And it has to be in this range. You know what? I'm going to pick this stack right here because these guys aren't very helpful with close combat anyways. So I'm going to just disrupt them. And in fact, I don't even have to disrupt both of them. I can just disrupt the HQ unit. And that HQ unit still controls everybody around him when he's disrupted. He just doesn't have a 3 range anymore. And that's fine. So that's how I'm going to handle that. So this artillery thing's not so bad. You can just disrupt units. And now we do the raid check, and this one's got plenty within range 2. This one has 2 of them within range 2. And you can see as we're going around, everybody has somebody within range 2 of each other. So nobody's getting raided. So that's a nice quick phase. And that brings us to the end of the turn. And now we move to the... Oh, crap. We were supposed to do a landing on this turn. So let's get that done right away. There was a landing that was supposed to have occurred. Oy, oy, oy. I totally forgot about that. So game turn 9. We're going to be moving to game turn 10, folks, but I forgot to do the landing here. And I don't know how well you can see the text. 3 points of 5th Division artillery. So we get even more artillery. It's pretty good. I don't mind that. And then we get the second, the 2A of the 5th Division tank. He's landing. And then the 2C. So actually every unit from 5th Division is now gone. So there's these 2 tanks that are going to be landing. And actually we need the tanks. So They land in R2, red 2. So I'm going to put those guys in red 2. And then we're going to have to land them. And I'll make sure we land them per the beginning of the round situation. Okay, then 5 points in the 4th Division Artillery. So I'm very happy because now we can get, we have some breathing room in artillery. And they both now have 10 points. So that's very good. And so remember that event that made us lose a point? So what I did was I just made it like a used point. So I have us at the number of artillery points we're supposed to have. And remember, the event said you're supposed to just reduce that by 1. So what I did instead is I just used 1 point. So that way I'm not messing with the max points. I just messed with how many points we've already used, if that makes sense. Okay, so the 4th Division tank, 2 of them are landing in Y2. And so these are the final 2 tanks for that division. And that ends it for us. So let me zoom you back out. And Y2 is yellow 2 here. So I think all we're doing is checking for drift. Red 2, nobody hits it and there's no drift. So they both land, and I'm going to put them both here so we can get within command. And then they actually get to move. So this is now bulldoze, so we don't have the penalty anymore. So I'm going to move them 1, 2, 3 to get them right into the thick of the action here. And eventually they're going to join some unit, and we're going to start busting some sriracha chops. We're going to have sriracha flavored pork chops. All right, and then we go over here, and there's a drift right if it's a circle. And you can see that we have a drift right here, which is awesome because he's landing there. And now look, oh, that's not enough range. So he's going to move in with his turn, and we can actually put him somewhere. And I'm going to put him right here so he's in range, and he's also next to the other tank. We actually have 3 tanks now. And then this guy's going to land, and I'm going to do a similar thing. 1, 2, 3. And here we have 2 tanks here and 2 tanks there. We're going to barrage this thing. It's going to be shock and awe before George Bush was even thinking of shock and awe. So anyways, that's where we're at. And I'm at 1 hour and 38, so I'm going to end this turn, or end this video, and I will see you in a few seconds.